throw in for Boroondara on the right flank, hurled in. As we endeavour to bring you live pictures from here at David Barrow Stadium at the Benito Club, Boroondara against South Melbourne, round 18 of the NPL Women's Victoria season. And indeed told that Vision has just recommenced here on the NPL Victoria YouTube page, so apologies and a belated welcome to, as I said, David Barrow Stadium here at the Benito Club, where you join us with the action already in progress. Boroondara on the attack. Gabby Holler trying to work on the ball as the hosting Eagles go to work against visiting South Melbourne here in this round 18 NPL Women's Victoria meeting. Two changes to the Boroondara side that fell to a upset 2-1 loss to Calder United last week. Maria Patrikas and Roshan Murphy out of the side. Patrikas on the bench, Roshan Murphy not on the team sheet today. Replaced in the starting lineup by the return of Rosie Curtis from Young Matilda's duty and Hayley Gertz. Alongside them, Mia Mossman makes her second consecutive start after a long injury layoff. Anna Leokopoulos, Ellen Turner, Anias Josefsky, Gabby Holler, Cicely Paraskevis, Anderson Van Doren, Korea Aquino and Sophia Gillespie rounding out the side. As Taylor Christensen carries the ball forward and knocks it forward for visiting South Melbourne. The offside flag will go up, but no advantage will not be played for South Melbourne. They have three changes from the side that fell 2-1 to Heidelberg United last week, and they are three rather major outs. Francesca Yamano, Letitia McKenna and Grace Taranto all out of the side for coach George Georgiadis. Chiara Chronopoulos, Dragana Klajic and Jessica Sheehan all coming in to the starting 11. They're joined by Sophia Varley, who makes her second consecutive start in goal after making her debut for South in the 2024 campaign last week as Mikulift. Speculative effort. Setting it forward, that's Danny Mikulift. Alongside her is Sophie Papatsanis, Isabel Stewarts, Taylor Christensen, Nisha Westland, Emily Roach and Grace Rapp alongside the aforementioned new additions. Big game for South Melbourne as they look to press their case for a playoff seeding. Just a month of the season remaining after this one, and South entering the weekend in 5th place on the table, on the outside looking in of the finals places. More action around the grounds that we'll take you through in a moment as South, through Emily Roach, just flashing an effort wide of the goals. Alamein United and the Bentley Greens have played out a 1-1 draw today. Essendon Royals getting a 1-0 win over FV Emerging. The highlights that are being auto-posted on the NPL Victoria Twitter page. And in live action, but potentially the game with the most relevance, if you are a fan of South Melbourne, Heidelberg United currently drawing 1-1 with Box Hill United. And if that score was to hold, South Melbourne could move higher up the table, back into 4th, at the very least, with a win today. Boroondara, they come into this game sitting in 7th place on the table, albeit that is 11 points back of the playoff rankings. Don't really need to worry about relegation either for the Eagles. An opportunity for coach John Kyrgios' side to play spoiler, if nothing else today, and as well as build some sense of momentum that they can try to look to carry into the 2025 campaign, as Korea Aquino, who herself will want to fill her boots in the latter month of the campaign and try to press her case for another A-League women contract, sends it across the pitch. Knocked forward by skipper Hayley Gertz, but to nobody in particular really. And it'll roll out for a South Melbourne throw-in. best of throws as Aquino gets underneath it and knocks it into the south penalty area. Visitors able to clear their lines. At least initially, Aquino trying to throw a weight around and win the ball back and spur another attack for Boroondara. Well, they'll win the ball at least, but they're going to be forced all the way back to Mossman. Ball forward will bounce, well, awkwardly for Jessica Sheehan, the youngster, getting a start today. Grace Rapp. Varley. South looking to work their way out of their own half. Boroondara not making it easy. Rosie Curtis slotting straight back into the starting 11 after being with the young Matildas for 2 games against Aotearoa, New Zealand. Over the past couple of weeks, spurs Boroondara into attack. Josefsky has retained possession, making a nuisance of herself. She'll go and fetch this one on the right flank. Trying to find an option. She's got Holler waiting in the middle, Aquino as well. 2 players that certainly know where the goal is, if they can be found. Can't on that occasion. Veronopolis getting in the road. Sending it out, well, in the Micallef adjacent direction. Sent straight back away by Leokopoulos. South will have the ball for a throw-in on their left flank. Albeit, it will almost immediately result in a throw-in for Boroondara. Hurled in, sent straight back by Misha Westland. Act 2. And again, South clear it away. This time maybe with a little more intent from Grace Rapp, albeit Boroondara will have the numbers. Sending it back to Leah Mossman. Curtis, well, her pass is going to get picked out, up for grabs. Leokopoulos just puts a boot through it. And Doran sending it into touch with Christensen in the vicinity. Sheehan hurls it in. Micallef trying to send it around the corner. Doesn't quite come off. Galletti boots it onto the opposite flank for Josefsky. Has speed, loves to run at defenders. There's a bit of that before she tries to flick it on for, well, Gertz and Holler were there. Neither could get onto it. Westland sending it out onto the left flank. Papatsanis. South forced to reshuffle that back line in the absence of 2 of their regular starters in the form of Yamano and Taranto. Veronopolis coming into centre back. Papatsanis on the left flank and Sheehan on the right. Papatsanis, ball in her hands. Switch of play, attempted by South, but Aquino on the spot just sees the ball back for Boroondara. The pass forward attempted by Ellen Turner. Holler went back to get it, turned it around the corner for Josefsky. She knocks it over her marker, but getting across was Veronopolis. And Josefsky in turn sliding across to send it out for a throw-in and ensure that the hosts can erect the cordon and try to lock this ball in South's defensive third. Well, down the touchline. It's going to get sent straight back in by Paraskevis into the middle of the park. South coming away with it. Sent down the left flank. Dragana Klajic will give chase. Paraskevis gets there first, setting it into touch. Papazanis again, coming up to take this one. There's Clage in front of her, Misha Westland behind. Roach makes a run from the top of the box. That's where it goes. Heavy touch. Intended clearance goes straight to Papazanis. South can't take advantage. Gabby Holler, Correa Aquino. Trying to play the ball in behind. Wasn't the best ball, but the bounce favoured Gertz. However, it was favouring a Gertz in an offside position. See, even in these early stages, Boroondara, when they do have the opportunity, they look to get forward very quickly, get in behind this South Melbourne back line. Defending has been an issue for them, especially in the second part of this campaign. Their 2-1 defeat to Calder was preceded by a 5-0 loss to Heidelberg. They've also lost 6-2 to Bulleen and 4-3 to Alamein in their last 5 fixtures. And remarkably enough, their last win, sandwich in that, was a 5-0 win over Essendon at this ground. It's possibly worth noting that they've only played once at home in their last 5 games, and that was the only one they've won. And now South have had to make the trip here to the Veneto club, so we'll see whether or not the return of Rosie Curtis, who was close to best on in that win over Essendon. Yes, Correa Aquino scored a hat-trick, but Curtis has moved into the back line. Really serving to boost Boroondara. We'll see whether her return and the return to the Veneto club can provide some sort of boost as well. Referee Joshua Drakeford heading over to fourth official and ground marshal over there. Whatever the conference was about, didn't hold play up for too long, as Boroondara will have a throw in right in front of our broadcast position here over on the grandstand side of the Veneto club. Sheehan's throw went behind Clage and enabled Correa Aquino to once again pounce. Turner, switch of play across to Josefsky. She's going to give chase. Josefsky had intent and got around Papazanis, but Marley in the South goals, picking out the danger and getting out to smother it. Now Sheehan backwards with Aquino in her face. Turner coming up and he's going to win the ball back. Ellen Turner for Gabby Holler. Good tackle from Rapp. But now Hayley Gertz has it at the top of the box. Challenge from Westland was important, enabled Papazanis to clear. Played across the park for Correa Aquino. Sheehan does well. Put her body on the Melbourne Victory striker and win the ball back. Now Roach looking for the run of Mikulev. And Aleakopoulos with the important intervention, sending it out to the sideline. Spent time in the South Melbourne junior system near Aleakopoulos. Boroondara signed her from FV Emerging for the 2024 campaign. Has also been on the books of Melbourne Victory, one of a number of Melbourne Victory former representatives out there this evening. Christensen laying it off back, and that's going to set up Gabby Holler inadvertently. The American. Varley had to come out of her area very quickly. Of all the players in the NPLW Victoria competition that you do not want bearing down on goal, it is probably Gabby Holler, the one that you would most fear in 2024. She leads the Golden Boot race. She's been challenged by Hayley Johnson of Preston, but still she maintains her lead. She's got 17 goals on the campaign. But what's more, if you're South Melbourne, you have to watch Gabby Holler because she is in some red-hot form. She has scored in 8 of her last 10 games with multiple goals coming in 4 of those. So she really has been on a tear as of late. Albeit the results haven't been there for Boroondara, but she's certainly been trying to do her part. Indeed, there's been at least 3 goals between both sides combined in Boroondara's last 9 games, so we should be, if the form guides holds, we should be in store for at least a few goals today, as Boroondara wanted a free kick. Referee Joshua Drakeford waving it away. He'll be assisted today, the man in the middle, by assistants Tina Zafaropoulos and Montaz Nadarall, sorry. Reza Hassani is the 4th official, as now Boroondara will have themselves a set piece from just beyond the centre circle. Sends in towards the top of the box. Gabby Holler trying to bring it down. Doing so eventually before she's cleaned up fairly by Isabella Seward. Gabby Holler slow to get to her feet. We'll keep an eye on that one, as Mikulov's attempt to turn the ball around the corner doesn't come off. South hustling to win it back. Holler back to her feet. Jogging back as South win themselves a throw-in just inside their opponent's side of the park. Seward does well to keep the ball and get it to Rapp. She goes back to her keeper. Rapp, long ball forward in the Christensen direction, sent clear by Curtis. And Rapp intervenes before it can find Gabby Holler. Josefsky was trying to slide the ball through to Hayley Gertz. South pick it out. Papatsanis, push to Rapp. Sheehan. Aquino trying to win the ball back from her, doesn't come off. But the attempt to slide Christensen into space in the Boroondara penalty area denied. Roach sends it around the corner for Christensen. And Doran there, as is Correa Aquino. The latter getting the ball and sending it long for Gabby Holler, has it scoot underneath her boot. Attempt to chest it down from Mikulev. Klajic. Back to Mikulev. Seward's winding up, forcing the save from Mia Mossman. She's had to make a few thus far. Boroondara keeper, but up to the task thus far. A lot of football still to be played. Both sides nibbling at the edges. And already the sense in this game that there will be goals. Sheehan, Christensen. Decent ball to the top of the box. Mikulev to Klajic. Klajic was in an offside position. It will not count. And, well, the net is rippled for the first time this evening at David Barrow Stadium, but it was done so by an offside Dragana Klajic. But will that augur fairer, more onside goals? As Josefsky steams down the right flank. Took a heavy touch though, and that will see it trickle over the touchline and out for a goal kick. Sent forward, it just got over the head of Galletti. Eventually will work its way back to Harley. This time sent out to the left flank. Klajec bounces off her noggin and set up well for her. She was able to get it forward for Mikulev. She can control it, but South have the numbers against Galletti. And that ball played down the left flank. We'll have too much on it, especially on this artificial surface. The ball will bounce and skid. We've had a bit of rain today as well, which will only amplify those effects. So both sides who do like to get in behind will have to weight their passes perfectly on this surface. One imagines that maybe will favour Boroondara, given that they do play on this deck more often than South Melbourne as the home side. We have had, spoiler alert, we have had a goal in Heidelberg against Box Hill. Heidelberg United taking a 2-1 lead from the penalty spot. A goal that will temporarily move them away from South Melbourne on the table. So the pressure will be on South to take the 3 points to keep pace. There's an effort off the crossbar from Gabby Holler. Best opportunity for either side thus far falls to the American. And she sends the clearest of warning shots to South Melbourne. The sounds of the crossbar being rattled, ringing out at David Barrow Stadium. But the scores remaining 0-0. Now Christensen, South are going to respond quickly. Roach couldn't control it. Cleared out by Boroondara. Correa Aquino. Sending it central. As the rain begins to pour at David Barrow Stadium. Leokopoulos kept the play moving. Skeva sending it up the flank. It was cleaned up as she did so, but not unfairly, and it will see the ball go out for a South Melbourne throw-in. Both sides benches out, getting some warm-up reps for Boroondara. They've got Melissa Cather as the backup. We're very thankful to have a backup, John Kyrgios, given the amount of times he's had to turn to an outfielder in goal after injury has hit this season. Most recently, a couple of weeks ago, where Sakessa went down and was forced to depart the field. And alongside her, you've got Maria Petrikis, Cassie Carmen, Zoe Bennett, Emily Rutkowski and Angeliki Hondulas. There's only a Leokopoulos that for the second time this season had to go into goal that fortnight ago. And she's probably very thankful to have a backup in place. South Melbourne. Now, they had Emma Olsen listed as a backup goalkeeper on the team sheet, albeit their social media graphic didn't include her, so I'm not sure of her status. As Roach plays the ball out to Christensen in space, across the face, Mossman collects. It's going to fall eventually for Roach. Can she get a knife foot off? She cannot. And the ball is eventually sent away for a corner kick. Other options off the bench for South. Asia Claridge, Elena Jacuzzi, Georgia Candilis, Annalise Bader, and Keisha Jacobs. As Emily Roach gets set to send this one in. Certainly been a fantastic mid-season addition for South, as Emily Roach contributed with 8 goals thus far, albeit she's gone 3 without scoring. As this ball is sent in. Can't beat the first defender. Boroondara looking to break. Stewart's got across to deny Korea Aquino, albeit the ball eventually makes its way to the Japanese attacker. Bit of a suspect back pass. Rosie Curtis kept her cool as the rain begins to thunder down. Emily Roach. That pass picked out. The other side really able to string a few passes together in these last few exchanges. Korea Aquino will lay it off backwards. Van Doren. Can't pick out a teammate, Papatsanis. She's closed down by Gabby Holler. Galletti sending it forward for Josefsky. Holler and Aquino steaming forward to provide an option. Ball played across. Chronopoulos got in the way. Holler was lurking. The South defender recovering quickly and sending it out. And clearing away the danger for a moment at the very least. Throwing cleared away. Players battling for it. Eventually it's South that come up with it. Christensen. And straight into Leakopoulos. Out for a South throw-in. Taken quickly. Misha Westland laying it off first time for Christensen. Winding up. And hit it with all the power that she needed, but not the direction. Difficult to send it away from Mia Mossman there, but that's where it went. Well worked from South to create the shooting opportunity from range. Cutlass working against Christensen. Christensen thought she had the throw in. Mistakenly, ball will go to Boroondara. Cecily Paraskevis, ball in her hands on her defensive right flank. Can't beat Klajic with the throw. Roach turns it around the corner for Misha Westland. She can't get a shot off. Keno sending it back to Van Doren. Looking into space, but to nobody really in particular, and Rapp will opt to keep it in and turn. And she was forced in the end to just get something off as Holler closed her down. No real options in front of her, and that's going to see Boroondara get the throw in. Gabby Holler trying to turn the corner from the throw in. Rapp not allowing her. The American striker working against the English defender, albeit an English defender who's an alumni of the University of Miami Hurricanes. And she's an England Youth International, but was born in Hong Kong. NPLW Victoria, the Global League, let's just call it that. Rapp. Playing it forward for Stewards. Did well to get the ball to Sheehan. Pass into the path of Mikulev, but Rosie Curtis read the play. Getting out in front of him. You can see there just the calming, deliberate presence that Rosie Curtis brings to this back line. Boroondara. As Christensen tried to turn and was denied. South will be forced to make do with another throw-in, but this one having surrendered a bit of territory, albeit there will still be approaching Boroondara's defensive third. Rapp's ball picked out and then will bounce off the shins of Jessica Sheehan. And Doran's throw to Aquino, first time ball over her head, can only find Isabella Stewards, who subsequently heads the ball out. Stewards' ball finds Roach. Dragana Klajic is on the left. Instead, she keeps the ball and tried to poke it to Westland, who had to go back and rescue possession. Ball forward. Christensen's going to give chase. Mossman had to come out and use her head, figuratively and literally. Lady poked it away, and it's going to spring Boroondara forward. Rat sending it back to her keeper as Gabby Holler lurked. Seward. Hannah and Turner at her back, and well, South will surrender possession in an adverse area of the park. Helen Turner will have the ball in her hands close to their penalty area, sending it in. Correa Aquino opening up the angle, and now it's the turn of Correa Aquino to rattle the crossbar for Boroondara. First Gabby Holler, then Correa Aquino. South living on the edge. You do not want to allow Correa Aquino, who scored 31 goals in 2023. They haven't flown as freely in 2024, but she has shown she can score at this level, and you do not want to provide her with looks on goal like that, just turning, opening up the angle and laying in a very threatening looking effort off that right boot. Ball sent out. Dragana Klage nods it on. Nicolif couldn't get there. Roach seizes upon the attempted clearance. Turner did well to keep it in. Back to Mossman. Klage provides the press. Curtis dances away from Taylor Christensen into some space. The ball will just get away from Boroondara. And now South through Sheehan to Christensen. Close down. Found Seward with a good pass. Ball across. Big collision there between Turner and Mossman. Oh, sorry, Leakopoulos and Mossman. And trainer will immediately be called for, as it looked like Leakopoulos went down holding her head. Mossman back to her feet. It's a hard surface here at the Veneto Club. Not as hard as it was in previous years, but still not fun to fall on. Yeah, we'll just have to hope that the Boroondara attacker will be able to get to shake it off and get to her feet, and it's not anything more serious. Maria Petrikis, Kissy Carmen, Zoe Bennett, Emily Rutkowski and Angeliki Honduras. The options available to Coach John Kyrgios on the bench. A few defensive options there as well. There will likely have to be some kind of reshuffle along the back line for Boroondara if Leakopoulos is unable to continue. Sitting up now at least, which is progress. Approaching half-time in this contest. Remains 2-1 in the other game still taking place. Heidelberg United leading Box Hill United. Not too far from here at Olympic Village. Leakopoulos back to her feet. Boroondara don't appear to be looking like they're going to make a change, so positive signs. Leakopoulos. I think that was a thumbs up from the trainer towards the bench. Also depends upon what kind of knock it was, I guess. If it was a head injury, that adds a level of concern. We all know about the dangers of concussion, and it's an awareness that grows with almost every day, really, with every new piece of research that comes out. Was it a shoulder or something? regardless, Boroondara won't make a change, so they are temporarily at least down to 10. And Leocopolis jogs back onto the park. Loose ball, Josefsky. God, she's quick. Seizing upon it, playing it across. Stewards on the second attempt, clearing it away to Westlands. Boroondara-Carey dropping deep. Sending it back to Varley. Chronopoulos. Papatsanis. First time ball from Westland to Boroondara-Carey. Ran straight into Sicily Paraskevis. Bounce relatively kind to South. Papatsanis. Across to Rapp. Looking for Christensen. Van Doren getting in the road. Sending the ball. Almost had a touch here in our commentary position. Not quite. Jessica Sheehan. Ball in her hands. Roach couldn't get there to claim it, and then the pace from Stewards will just be too high for Sheehan to raise her boot and claim. Madison Van Doren gets us going once again, throwing the ball to Aquino, who working against Sheehan and probably was able to get around her and look towards goal, but Rat getting in the road and sending it out. Van Doren's throw in. South unable to definitively clear it away. Sheehan wanting a goal kick. Aquino denying that, so she carries the ball out. Finds Christensen. Few first-time passes by Westlands and Stewards before Curtis taking the ball back for Boroondara. It's just going to slice away from Leocopolis. South can take possession back. Rack to Sheehan. Stewards. Connection not there between Stewards and Rack. Aquino turning inside once again. Still going. Hayley Gertz is going to poke it through. Gabby Holler was there. But Papatsanis getting across crucially to make the clearance. Good defending. Nice Sophie Papatsanis. Aquino playing the ball across to Hayley Gertz, who took the shot, but not really the most threatening of efforts as it rolls out for a goal kick. Chronopoulos. McLeod, first time ball. Sends in the Roach direction. And Turner in there for Boroondara. Still in there, winning the ball back. With Josefsky trying to play the winger into some space. Chronopoulos aware of the danger, coming across to put it out. Gabby Holler, surrounded by multiple South players, which sees the ball bounce out to Westlands. The visitors eventually clear it away in the Micallef direction, trying to hold the play up. Did well in the end, got it to Westlands. Sends it back to Chronopoulos, but a dearth of purple shirts in the vicinity will allow South a bit of breathing room as they attempt to build out from the back. Doesn't come to much, however, Ellen Turner sending it back to Mossman, who's going to have to work under a fearsome press from Mikulev. And then South, sensing the moment at hand, pouring numbers forward, forcing it out for a throw-in. Aquino, back to Van Doren, who's just going to find territory. Aquino pointing that it should have gone to Gabby Holler. Gabby Holler, though, probably content to just see possession shift back out to the south side of the park, albeit it's going to be temporarily as Rapp finds Stewart. From Stewart. She gets to Westlands. Set a task for Klage and Papatsanis, both of them on that left flank. It's kept in by Cicely Paraskevis. Haley Gertz. Back off to her right back, Paraskevis. Then Ball trying to play it in behind for the speed of Josefsky, but too close to Veronopoulos, who under pressure just puts the ball out. Holler trying to swing the ball in. Couldn't work it through a mass of bodies. Now Mikulev. Heading the ball over Leakopoulos. Leakopoulos did well to recover and hold her up. Emily Boroondara to take the ball back. Josefsky has Holler and Aquino. It's going to bounce behind Aquino. And not close enough for Holler to seize upon it before it's cleared away by Sheehan. It's been a good back and forth game. There's Mikulev pressing Curtis, who sheds the pressure and gets it forward. Leakopoulos' ball is not where she wanted to put it. Throw in for South. Klage with a Papatsanis. Josefsky getting back to defend. Leakopoulos looks to have shaken off whatever that knock was from earlier. Good to see. Boroondara's connections in deep on their defensive right flank, just not quite where they need to be. It ends up with a throw in for South Melbourne. Roach trying to find an angle to whip a ball in, has to settle for the throw. One she will surrender for her left back in Papatsanis. Plenty of bodies around the penalty area for South Melbourne if they can work it out of this cordon that Boroondara has erected. Sophia Galetti just sending it into touch. Well, South Melbourne's men have shown a remarkable knack for scoring from these positions, those long throw-ins. Not a weapon that's in the South women's side armoury, however, as they see this attack just peter out for goal kick. As we're in the 90th minute of that Heidelberg United Box Hill game, the score remains the Burgers leading 2-1. Which will help them see off any South Melbourne attempt to steal their spot in the finals places for at least one more week. Before that, though, South have to find a way to go up on Boroondara, who are pretty much giving as good as they're getting thus far. I mean, they've rattled the woodwork twice. Very unlucky not to be ahead, are the hosts. There's Westlands. He's forced back to Veronopoulos. Westland again to Klage. To Westlands. Sophia Galetti applying a bit of pressure, forcing her to go to the left flank of Klage. South trying to find a way through. They won't on that occasion. Curtis knocking the ball away. tight areas in there. It's eventually going to see Ellen Turner bustle out with it, but she can't find a teammate. Monopolis to Westlands for Roach. First time ball for Papatsanis, but will just get away from the youngster in what was the final act of this opening stanza. A back and forth opening stanza, an entertaining opening stanza. An opening stanza where there were good chances, but for both Boroondara and South Melbourne, no goals. It is 0-0 as the two sides head into the dressing rooms, escape the rain after 45 minutes of football with the game evenly poised. Both sides undoubtedly will fancy their chances in this one. Looms as an entertaining second stanza for us, the neutral, watching on. So it's been enjoyable having your company across the opening half at David Barrow Stadium. Second half will resume in about 15 minutes. You'll have the countdown clock for company until then, but hope to have your company when play resumes. Welcome back, one and all, to David Barrow Stadium at the Veneto Club. And for those of you that are rejoining us after the opening stanza, you will see that the rain has continued to pour down. In fact, it has probably gotten a bit heavier, if nothing else. As we see Boroondara making a change at the halftime interval. Emily Rutkowski entering the fray in place of Madison Van Doren. John Girios turning to his bench after an opening 45 minutes in which Boroondara certainly gave just as good as they got, if not better. Both Gabby Holler and Correa Aquino rattling the crossbar of South keeper Sophia Varley. South having chances of their own, of course, threatening to break through on a number of occasions, but in a game in which Coach George Georgiadis' side need a win to keep pace with Heidelberg United in the race for the top four, those playoff places. They have been unable to find a way through a Boroondara defence which, well, is certainly enjoying the return of Rosie Curtis to the starting lineup. Back after going away with the young Matildas and certainly providing them with a foundation in defence which has, to this point, repulsed the likes of Taylor Christensen, Morgana Klajic and Danielle Mikulev. Now, Boroondara trying to come forward. The throw-in intended for the Golden Boot leader, Gabby Holler, and it's going to fall for the American here, turning one way and then the other, looking for some support, finding it in the form of Correa Aquino. Aquino, good footwork to stay on possession, looking for the byline before it's cleared away. Sophie Papatsanis. Of course, as mentioned in the opening stanza, South coming into this game without Francesca Yamano, Letitia McKenna or Grace Taranto, all dropping out of the side that fell to a 2-1 defeat against Heidelberg last week, but through three highly credentialed outs for the visitors. As they look to defend this corner, this low one sent in the direction of Annalia Kopoulos, who, if you are just joining us, copped a knock in the opening stanza, but has since shaken that one off to take up her position in the back line alongside Rosie Curtis, who just stepped forward to apply some pressure to Isabella Seward, who was the intended recipient of that pass. And then you can see there that Rosie Curtis's move to get forward was a shrewd one, applying the pressure that sees this put out for a throw-in rather than any kind of foray forward. Or scoots out behind the back of that contest. Mikulev seizing upon it. Now you've got Roach and Klajic waiting in the middle. The former was the intended recipient. It's going to be cleared away by Leah Kopoulos before it can reach Emily Roach. 3 games without a goal, Emily Roach. She's got 8 on the campaign since her mid-season arrival. Spent some time in China before landing back on Lakeside. And South will have another throw in here, but if anything, this is probably in a better position, albeit further back, opening things up a bit, opening up the spaces. Christensen shows for it, gets it, trying to turn and face goal, and it's going to fall for Roach. Roach, and into a wall of players, eventually gets it to Papatsanis. Klajic out here on the left. Does the ball have the carry? It does, for her first touch at least. Before Paraskevis comes across to provide the contest, and in the end winning her side the goal kick. So the South attack peters out. But they will set up this defensive shape as Leah Mossman takes it short to Curtis. Kowski got the ball out now. Josefsky, her speed has threatened throughout the opening half and now trying to put it to work in the second stanza. Christensen hoping to do so at the other end for South Melbourne, but she can't win the ball there. Leah Mossman trying to get it to Paraskevis. If it just gets out to her. Had company, which forced her to go back to Leakopoulos. Rutkowski will make its way through, but Christensen will apply the pressure. Sheehan. Ball for Veronopoulos, who's closed down by both Holler and Aquino. The former there. It's going to bounce off Holler and out for a goal kick. Kept following it, collided with Varley. May have given away a free kick. See where the ball is taken. No, referee Joshua Drakeford pointing for the goal kick. Had good eyes on it, did the official. Determining that, well, no, Gabby Holler didn't commit the foul. She just couldn't direct that deflection on goalward. Now an opportunity for Boroondara to try to lock this one in. Varley's going to send it long. Turner got a head on it. Forced it around Klajc. Her pass couldn't cleanly find a teammate. Bounces off Papatsanis. She collects. Ball goes out to Klajc. Roach. Roach wanted Klajc. Challenge came in, sending it out for a throw-in. Papatsanis surveys the scene. Good angle from our broadcasting position of what she's seeing. Nicholas wanted to turn the ball around the corner for her winger in Klajc. Didn't come off. Now Veronopoulos just gets her body onto it and puts it out for a throw-in as South will get their numbers back and behind the ball. Veronopoulos to Papatsanis. Tried to find Nicholas. Audible sound of frustration from the defender when it didn't work its way through to the striker. Trying to drop to receive that throw-in, poked away from her. Now up for grabs in the centre of the park. Stewards gets it to Taylor Christensen. A footed effort, sending it in behind, but it's bouncing away from both South players in the vicinity. There's Roach and Dragana Klajc, and South will have to content themselves with a throw-in just inside Boroondara's side of the park. Klajc probably had a bit more time there than she realised as her pass finds naught but Boroondara. And Turner putting it out for another throw-in. Across to Misha Westland. Christensen's attempt to turn runs straight into Ellen Turner, and now potential opportunities in transition for Boroondara. If Rutkowski can find a teammate, well, she did, but with a weight of pass that allowed South to immediately put the challenge in, and that will come back offside. Not the first time that the assistant's flag has haunted Dragana Klajc in this one. Her return to the starting lineup. Skevis jumping on the ball, getting it to Turner. It's Rosie Curtis, Emily Rutkowski, Josefsky. First time pass, bouncing for Holler. Hayley Gertz for Josefsky. She's through if she can collect it. bouncing ball was unkind, and as South are indicating, it would not have counted had she collected and shot, because she would have done so after emerging from an offside position. So we continue to wait. The opening goal in this one. Walk you through the form guide. Both of these sides know where the net is. Plenty of goals have been scored in Boroondara goals as of late, albeit mostly in their net, barring that 5-0 win they had over Essendon. Well, South Melbourne haven't kept a clean sheet in 11 games in months. So now, as Klajic gives chase to this one, Liam Osman comes out to claim it. 3 games without a win for South Melbourne. There was that defeat against Heidelberg last week, and prior to that 2 draws against Essendon and Bulleen. I tell you, it's been a very difficult run of fixtures for South Melbourne, coming up against 3 currently finals-bound sides. Stewart's getting to the byline and sending it in, but only as far as Mossman. Their run home, in theory, is a bit more favourable to them, Coach George Georgiadis' side. After tonight's contest, they'll travel to Calder next week and then host Box Hill, travel to face FV Emerging, and then finish the season against Brunswick Juventus. So, no sides in the top 4 there, and you need 50% of their games coming against sides currently engaged in a relegation scrap. As that pass is picked out by Rosie Curtis, but not for long. South seizing upon it once more. Another Klajic. Bring it inside, but a bit of a heavy touch, albeit she's going to immediately get it back off the shins of Correa Aquino and give it straight back to Boroondara. Now Hayley Gertz looping it forward, giving Holler maybe a sniff of it. Correa Aquino from range and sending it wide. So you're looking at it's really a 3-way battle a 4-way battle for 3 playoff places in the final month of the season. FC Bulleen Lions on top. Absolute disaster would have to strike for Coach Caitlin Friend's side to not play finals football. So looking at the others, taking you through South's run home, you've got Essendon. They will host FV Emerging next week, then travel to face Brunswick Juventus, host the Bentley Greens, and then away to Preston. Sorry, Essendon had Emerging today, and then they will finish the season at home against Alamein. The Burgers, they defeated Box Hill today, then they'll travel to face FV Emerging next week, then hosting Brunswick Juventus, away to the Bentley Greens, and then at home to Preston. And then, Preston, their run home, probably the least favourable out of all the sides. Handily dealt with Calder United last week. They will host Alamein next week, but after that they travel to face Bulleen, host Essendon, and then they're away to Heidelberg to end the season. So Preston Macedonia's conclusion to the campaign will end with 3 currently finals-bound sides. South did defeat Preston a few weeks ago as well. Convincingly, in fact, 4-1 at Lakeside Stadium. Goals certainly not flowing as freely today, though, for Coach George Giordano's side. Roach gets it to Klajic. He sends it back. Wanted Micallef, but far in front of her, and Curtis watches as it rolls out and through to Mia Mossman. Meanwhile, though, up the other end of the park, we've got to play it down for Boroondara. Might be Ellen Turner. Boroondara bench immediately gets to their feet to warm up. Turner back to her feet. Well, looking at the live ladder. And South continue to remain on the outside looking in. With this result, they won't be able to jump back into the top four, regardless of if they get the 3 points today, given that all the sides above them on the table got wins. Well, they'd have to Essendon 1-0 winners over FV Emerging, Heidelberg 2-1 winners over Box Hill, and last night Preston 5-1 winners over Calder. The ball for Boroondara. Galletti couldn't control it. Able Roach to nip in. Now Seward's looking to feed the run of Taylor Christensen. A superb ball. Can Christensen get a shot off? She cannot. Emily Rutkowski with the defensive work, the sterling defensive work to prevent the New Zealander from advancing one-on-one on the goal of Mia Mossman. And unfortunately that pearl of a pass from Seward's, for her sake, will lead to naught. Seward's again. Playing the ball into the path of Mikulev. First time cross in towards the back post. Klajic effort, volley, Mossman save. To adjust for the flight in midair, did the winger. And did well to get a shot off in the end, but Boroondara custodian up to the task. And still, we await the breaking of this stalemate at David Barrow Stadium at the Benito Club. Who will blink first? Who will find that decisive moment to break this game open? Stewards will turn. Still carrying the ball forward, finding Klajic in an offside position. It wouldn't have counted as the advantage is played. Curtis now. Boroondara just having to do a bit of defending as of late, as Christensen winning the ball back from Rutkowski. Taylor Christensen finding Roach. Challenge comes in with the defensive header straight to Christensen. Her pass not the best for Westlands. Freya Aquino dropping, getting it to Rutkowski before those two will combine. In comes in Misha Westlands. Last off her for a Boroondara throw. Freya Aquino goes down under the pressure from Taylor Christensen. No doing. South Melbourne throw. Will bounce back to Leokopoulos, who lets it run before smashing it long. Renopoulos' header. Only as far as Galletti, who then tries to play it through for Josefsky. Renopoulos coming across well. Now she's going to look up, try to find a teammate, and it's just going to get away from her. And Roach will watch it roll out for a throw-in. We've got another player back down behind play, and I think it might be Turner again. Looks to be cramped from, well, she's stretching herself out, but she has been down once already. So potentially Boroondara They need to make a change here. It looks like Ellen Turner's limping towards the sideline, so a change will have to come. Paperwork rapidly being submitted with the fourth official now. There's Hassani just getting everything in order, getting the substitutes brought in. Just over an hour here at David Barrow Stadium at the Veneto Club. Ellen Turner getting set to make way. It will be Angeliki Honduras who will replace her. A former South Melbourne player, now wearing purple. And we'll see what sort of reshuffle that leads to. The defender looks like she will move into a position at centre back, and Rosie Curtis will step up into a midfield role. It'll be interesting to see how both sides respond to that, given that Curtis has been outstanding at centre back. Ball will bounce rather harmlessly through to Mia Mossman. Coppolis knocks the ball forward. Holla, who has certainly not seen as much of the ball in this second stanza as she was in the first half, so have to chalk that up as a win for the visitors. The less of the ball that the Golden Boot leader is getting, the better for South Melbourne. Rapp sends it back. Valley in the south goal. Across to Veronopoulos. Both sides getting set up in their respective shapes. Rapp. Now the ball will be turned over. Curtis now for Boroondara. Sliding it into the middle of the park, met by Papatsanis. Curtis again. The Stewards for company. Two talented youngsters. Okino on the left flank. Working one-on-one with Sheehan. Left the ball behind, goes to get it. For the ball in, Aquino looking for Holler, couldn't make proper contact, neither could Josefsky. Hayley Gertz now appeals for a handball before she lofts an effort over the crossbar. And Boroondara had numbers, had players that they'd normally want in those positions, but none. Able to send in an effort that challenged Sophia Valley in the south goal, and well, she won't have to clamber over the fencing and the sponsor boarding behind the goals there. One's delivered in. And the rain mercifully pretty much mostly easing now as we head towards the final stages of this game. Still looking for that first goal. South at present looking at ending an 11-game stretch without a clean sheet. Apologies, preemptive apologies to any of the Hellas faithful if that serves as the commentator's curse. It's Curtis trying to get away from the challenge of Dragana Klage, who has gone over to that right flank. Doing so, gives away the throw-in. Alicia Westland receives. Trying to knock it upfield. As far as Sheehan, but South unable to build anything from it. Western knocking it forward for Nikolov. She goes down. Slipping over, enabling Rosie Curtis to knock it forward for Gabby Holler. Playing the ball in behind for Korea Aquino. She can get there before Sheehan. She couldn't, so she puts her body through the youngster, but fair 50-50 contest for our referee, Joshua Drakeford, and it's going to lead to a corner kick. Had a good view of it, again, did our referee. So South will get 10 players into the penalty area to defend this one. Dragana Klajic, the only player out. Kept company by Josefsky. And while the ball is sent in, was sitting almost up for Gabby Holler, but she couldn't backpedal in time to make proper contact with her headed effort, and instead will just ricochet off her bonds and out for a South Melbourne ball. Westland forced back to Rapp. Pressured. Here comes the press from Boroondara. Seward looking to turn. Does so. Fronopoulos finds Papatsanis. There's Christensen, that's where it goes. Knocked forward, intended for Mikulev. She couldn't clean the controller, but did with the throw-in. So South will shift field position and now move the ball into Boroondara's defensive third. Papatsanis couldn't slide a pass through. Mikulev has it poked away from her. Seward sending it back to Rapp. Sheehan. Central for Seward. First time ball to Klajic. Sheehan's made the move forward. First time ball in. Mikulev is there. Header not the best. And it goes out for a goal kick. Leokopoulos launches it. I think as far as Papatsanis, fortunately for her, her mistimed attempt to control it went to a teammate in the form of Rapp. South getting numbers forward now as they try to really fashion a clear-cut scoring opportunity. They've been few and far between in the second stanza, but here comes Christensen with an effort. Mossman saves, but she has to be out quickly because Mikulev, well, I was about to say Mikulev was ready to pounce. And that was because she was offside when the effort came in. Flag of Tina Zafiropoulos immediately raised when Mikulev advanced on the save of Mia Mossman. There's another change being prepared on the Boroondara side of the park. It's going to be Haley Gertz making way for Cassie Carmen. So here we go, another former South Melbourne player coming onto the park for Boroondara. Carmen joining Boroondara in 2023 from Hellas. And we will see how this affects their shape. So Cassie Carmen has gone into left back. Rakowski pushing up the park. Sheehan throwing it in for South. She puts it over her head. Difficult one to keep in for Mikulev, and she's not going to be able to. And somebody's going to have to go into the bushland and get that. Fortunately, a couple of balls on the halfway line that can be delivered in. To Leokopoulos. She's going to be closed down immediately by Roach. Got the ball away, only as far as Papatsanis. Not for grabs. Curtis has attempted control. Went straight to Misha Westland. Christensen holding the play up, looking for an option. Poked away from her, but Zafiropoulos. Kino coming in, winning the ball for her side. Gabby Holler. Had Rutkowski. Couldn't get the ball away before she was challenged. Seward and Galletti going to battle for it. Seward's eventually to Klajic, whose first time ball gets through to Mikulev, who did well. Didn't have the support. Curtis coming in. Now she didn't have the support. Roach trying to chase it down. big coming together, and that's going to be a free kick. Angeliki Kondulis bundled over. And only not on the park for long, Angeliki Kondulis, substitute, but she's going to require treatment. Looking like George Georgiadis is set to soon make a change. I think that's Georgia Kondulis warming up over on that far side of the park. The designated attacking super sub. Hasn't actually found the back of the net in a while though, is Georgia Kondulis, so no time like the present, undoubtedly, if you are the soon-to-be introduced South substitute. My eyes aren't failing me, and that is indeed Kondulis. Meanwhile though, back in the actual field of play, Boroondara will have themselves a free kick. With just under 15 minutes to go here, David Barrow Stadium at the Veneto Club. The game remains poised at 0-0. Rakowski unable to keep that one in now. South getting numbers forward. Tight confines of that flank. They're going to immediately give the ball back. Cassie Carman to get us restarted. And Gabby Holler dropping deep. We've mostly been seeing Korea Aquino do that throughout this game, but on that occasion it was the Japanese striker staying up the park. Meanwhile, foot race is on. Boroondara just able to clear the ball away before a couple of South players were steaming forward, could seize upon it. Nikoliff getting a bit frustrated there, but keeping possession and getting the shot off. They're allowed to play. In the end, the resulting shot comes to naught as you can just feel the level of desperation just beginning to ratchet up a few notches here at David Barrow Stadium, particularly from South, as Christensen has beaten a few and she's going to get hacked down by Honduras. That will be a yellow card. No hesitation there from Joshua Drakeford. She'd already skipped past a couple, Christensen, and she would have been in prime position for a cutback had she not been brought down there. Now, free kick in what has to be considered an intriguing position for South Melbourne. Difficult angle for any sort of attempted shot. If you are Emily Roach, you'd be thinking you'd be looking for a teammate in this scenario. It's a three-player wall for Boroondara, although then again, from this position, just trying to bend it inside that far post, it would have to be tempting. But you do have tall timber in the middle. Christensen in there, Mikalev isn't short. Neither is Chronopoulos. As Roach sends it in, Roach, well, in the end, potentially that far, inside that far post was too tempting, but unable to get the dip on it. And here we go, the substitution will be made, and indeed it was Georgia Kondulis warming up. She will replace Dragana Klajic. So Kondulis now in her 5th season at South Melbourne, albeit a couple of those seasons wiped away by COVID joined in 2019 from Bayside. Now entering the fray, seeking to add that spark that will give South Melbourne a much needed 3 points, but they're going to have to defend now. Correa Aquino has stolen a march on Rapp, brought down by the sliding challenge, and now it is Rapp that will be going into the book for a yellow card. Referee Joshua Drakeford making clear as he was doing so that it wasn't, in his mind, a clear goal scoring opportunity. Players in the vicinity, so not a dog so. A couple of Boroondara fans here in the grandstand voicing their contrarian opinion, but always like to say in these scenarios they've done the badges, and well, I'm going to hazard a guess that those of us in the grandstand haven't. I certainly haven't. However, well, here we go. This is absolutely shooting territory for Boroondara. We have 4-player wall for South Melbourne, and no surprises who's standing over this one for the Eagles. You've got Correa Aquino and Gabby Holler. Holler feints, Aquino to shoot, and hit it with plenty of venom, trying to catch Varley just unawares by sneaking it down low along the turf, but the South keeper producing a sharp save, getting down to her right and keeping it out. And here we go. South coming forward now as the tension continues to rise with this game caught a stalemate. Christensen just sees the ball, get away from it. Had a bit of space on the left flank to operate on. We saw what she could do there just moments prior, where she induced a yellow card challenge. Now Christensen into the box, looking for the byline, but it's going to come back because she was offside. George Georgiadis did appreciate the build-up and is now yelling encouragement at his side to keep up the pace, keep up the energy, as we're in the last 10 minutes of this contest. South Melbourne urgently needing a goal to keep up pace in that race for finals football. Both sides want the ball. It's going to be Boroondara that has it. Gabby Holler just nodding it on. Correa Aquino bustling through, winning the ball. Correa Aquino swarmed by defenders, Misha Westland and Papatsanis. The latter clears it away. Christensen sends it central. Back out to Westlands. Closed down by Correa Aquino. Get the play moving. Mikulev looking central, finding Stewards. You've got Christensen, Candilis and Roach upfield. Goes to Christensen, first time ball. Makes its way through to Roach. She's closed down, but keeps possession. Does Roach, and then wins a throw-in. With defending from Sophia Gillespie. South immediately looking to get numbers forward. Papatsanis coming up from left back to take the throw. Christensen receives the throw, turning inside. Can she get a cross in? Turning, getting the ball across, but over the head of everyone. Foot race is on, looking to keep it in. Can Stewards do so? She can, and she does very well to get her Candilis. Candilis' return pass gave Stewards an awful lot to do. Playing it central now is Stewards. Mikulev turning, trying to get the shot off, closed down. Candilis saw it go behind her, and then Roach unable to keep it in. Goal kick for Boroondara. No, corner. So South, opportunity to maintain this pressure, get numbers forward. Correa Aquino and Josefsky getting back to defend for Boroondara. Holler as well. Everybody getting back now. Pretty much 11 players in or close to the box for the hosts. Christensen to whip in the delivery. It's close to Mossman's goal. It's a scramble for it. And it's going to bounce away, and then Curtis. Anywhere but here, says the Boroondara midfielder. Started at centre-back, now in the midfield. Ball played back in, but it's going to get away from Stewart. And the Boroondara throwing. Gabby Holler couldn't make contact with it. Bounces over a few players before it makes its way to Cicely Paraskevas. To Curtis. She's closed down by Westland. Kept her cool. Worked the ball to Rutkowski. However, her pass intended for Cassie Carmen does not come off. Westland. Can't spring forward South into attack. Just around 5 minutes of regulation or so remaining. Get a bit of added time. We've had a few knocks, but won't get too much extra football from the fourth official once that expires. And there you can see the free kick taken quickly. South not mucking about. Roach forced to turn, but did well, getting the return pass. Now she's facing the right way, playing the ball through. Nicholas going to have to give chase. She'll retrieve the ball and cut it back for Misha Westlands. Sending it into the middle of the park. Candilas laying it off for Stewards. Curtis sliding in, and now Boroondara looking to transition. Aquino has to time her run. Instead it goes to Rutkowski. Gabby Holler and Korea Aquino working their way into the box. Rutkowski, step over. Has a, going to assume it was a shot, blocked away. Christensen has Westland central. But she's going to keep carrying the ball. She needs to find a teammate. Laying it off instead backwards to Papatsanis. Back to Christensen. Roach. Good ball for Georgia Candilas, but she left it behind. But did well to recover, getting away from Cicely Paraskevas initially, but the defender recovers. Josefsky. Winning the throw-in. Did well to keep her feet there. She goes down. Christensen might be in a bit of trouble, because it does always look worse when a player with the size advantage of Christensen clashes with a player like Josefsky. Theokopulos. Hoofs it long. South, clear it to Misha Westlands. He lays it back. Valley's going to have to put her boot through it quickly. Rutkowski was in the vicinity. Over the head of Galletti, but not Curtis. Roach. Westlands. Ronopoulos. Valley's long ball out to Candilas. Bounces away from her. Josefsky trying to turn. Papatsanis laying the challenge. There we go. In the 88th minute of this contest now, when we remain scoreless. Candilas playing it forward, presenting the return pass option. Instead, Roach will poke it forward to Nicola. First time ball for Candilas. Christensen makes a run centrally. Candilas is cleaned up, but the ball was collected first. Christensen battling with Angeliki Honduras for it. It's going to scoot out to the left. Curtis got it moving to Holler. Gabby Holler, ball forward into the path of Rutkowski. Can Boroondara hit South in transition? Rutkowski closed down, getting a shot off, and it's going to flash across the face of goal. Goal kick is taken, sent to Roach, controlling it. Short passing from South before the long ball is sent out to the right flank. Christensen let it run, but ran out of real estate. point is better than nothing, but it is not what South Melbourne came here to do tonight. 5 does not go into 4, and right now on the live ladder it is South that are on the outside looking into the finals places. But here they come forward once more. Micallef will give chase. Can she keep it in? Just no. The ball is out for a goal kick in the final minute of regulation here at David Burrows Stadium at the Veneto Club. Boroondara has a goal kick. It's going to get sent long, it appears. South getting set up, hoping to send it straight back. It's a good distance on it. There's a good header from Rat. Both sides want it. Christensen gets it, wants to take the throw in quickly, looking for Micallef, gets away from Honduras. Micallef winning a corner. Well, we've got the assistant pointing for the corner, referee pointing for a goal kick in the end. Our referee will defer to the assistant, and South will have themselves a corner as we have moved into added time. Here at the Veneto Club, numbers getting forward. The last corner saw a goal-mouth scramble cleared away. Christensen whips the ball in, defensive header. It was a good one. Who's going to get there first, Rutkowski or Christensen? In the end, it was sort of simultaneous. Papatsanis sending the ball back. It's going to bounce up. Cleared away, only as far as Rat. Her header. Micallef got there first, but only as far as Honduras. Good ball around the corner from Josefsky. Chronopoulos. Over her head, only as far as Rutkowski. Correa Aquino's pointing where she wants it. It's where it goes. Correa Aquino shooting, scoring, winning the game for Boroondara. In added time, the lethal boot of Correa Aquino drives a dagger through the hearts of South Melbourne. Hurling themselves forward, trying to find a winning goal to keep their place in the race for the playoffs, and instead it is the hosts, Boroondara, advancing at the other ends, and Rutkowski, Emily Rutkowski, playing the ball forward, and Correa Aquino. She hasn't found the same goal-scoring touch this season as she had in the last one. It's been a few games since she'd scored a goal. But now she has found the mark, and with it struck a hammer blow to South Melbourne. Of course, if you're Heidelberg United, Preston and Essendon, you're the world's biggest Correa Aquino fans right now. Remarkable scenes at the Veneto Club as South now go from hunting 3 points to hunting an equaliser, and something that can salvage at least a point. It's a good ball in. Players scrambling for it. Western not able to get a shot off. Candilas has her shot blocked. Appeals for a handball. It's a penalty. Remarkable. South Melbourne will have a chance to equalise. In the 93rd, 94th minute of this game, Correa Aquino with a goal that seemingly won the game for Boroondara, but on the very next attack, South Melbourne have themselves a penalty. And well, here we go. Mia Mossman, it's her second game, but back between the six since a long injury layoff. And now it is her task to deny Emily Roach. Protect this 3 points for Boroondara. Well, now if you're Essendon, Preston and Heidelberg, you're the world's biggest Mia Mossman fans. Can she deny Roach? She does! But on the rebound! Again! Remarkable that the big pack forms South Melbourne getting numbers forward. Boroondara desperate. And they get right around Mia Mossman to the Boroondara players. She picked the right way. She was moving in that direction before the shot even came in. Roach did not adjust in response. Could not get enough power on her attempted follow-up. And Boroondara retain a 1-goal lead. Candilis around the corner. Couldn't find a teammate. Sheehan turning, sending it forward. Christensen poking it forward but can't find a teammate. Rapp had it just slice off her boot. All eyes now on our referee. How much longer will we be allowed to play here as the ball is sent all the way back to Sophia Varley? Can't find an option. She's got to just get it out of there. No time to muck about if you are South Melbourne. Christensen around the corner. Mikulev gives desperate chase, but she's not going to get there before Angeliki Honduras, who puts it out for a throw-in, potentially. Is this the last throw of the dice? Oh, it's not the final whistle, it's a sub. John Kyrgios maybe just noting the frantic nature of things and deciding that that favoured the visitors more so than his own outfit. He makes the change. Galletti will come off. Maria Petrikis will enter the fray. Galletti in absolutely no rush. Petrikis won't have very long to make an impact. But really, this substitution in killing the momentum might have done enough. That's a foul throw, is it? No. Referee hadn't signalled play on. Here we go. Now play on. South Melbourne, desperate. Ball played in. It's a goal kick. Was that it? We've had pretty much everything you could ask for in this added time. Aquino putting Boroondara up 1-0. South immediately winning a penalty, which was saved by Mia Mossman, and it was a decisive save as the final whistle rings out at David Barrow Stadium, and the home comforts come through once again for Boroondara. They keep a clean sheet, a 1-0 win over South Melbourne. Korea Aquino will go down as the match winner, but it is a title she should surely share with Mia Mossman, with a penalty save to deny Emily Roach in added time and protect the 3 points for Boroondara. For South Melbourne, their finals aspirations suffering a major blow. Preston, Essendon and Heidelberg all winning this weekend. They fall to a 1-0 defeat, the defending champions. And they must now regather themselves and look ahead as they prepare to travel and face Calder United next week. Boroondara will travel to face Box Hill next Friday evening. Both of those games, as with every game of the NPL Women's Victoria season, you can catch here on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel. Get yourself subscribed and then be a friend, tell a friend, get them subscribed as well. It's going to be a fantastic run home here in the NPL Women's Victoria and the NPL Men's Victoria competition as well. Hasn't been a good weekend for South, both the men's and women's teams going down. Every game you'll catch on the NPL Victoria YouTube page, as well as select VPL 1, VPL 2 games, as well as the Nike FC Cup and Doherty Cup finals to come. For now, though, here from David Barrow Stadium at the Veneno Club, it's the hosts, Boroondara, with a 1-0 win. Boroondara 1, South Melbourne 0, thanks to Korea Aquino and Mia Mossman. My name has been Joey Lynch. It's been an absolute pleasure to have your company on this Saturday evening. For now, though, I'll say goodbye. Thanks and success.